Greetings, everybody. Welcome once more to the Dracovin Empire. Are you ready to dive back into the world of Golarion, the world of Pathfinder role-playing game system? Today, we'll be introduced to a new group of people. Ones that are probably still fine in second edition. They were in second edition, but we don't really know much past them in the remaster project. We'll talk about it. But we're going to be learning about the Denizens of Leng. I don't really have a name other than that, other than they come from the Plateau of Leng. We'll go into all this. But if you want to join me on this journey, I can open up the gateway to Golarion, open up a little bit of magical spell, and I can lead you there. I am your host and guide, your Tansnar Dracovin. Do remember, if we're going to travel here, leave a little bit of tip before we go. Like subscribing the bell over on the YouTube side of things, and let me know what you think of the Denizens of Leng. Have you encountered them in any of your games? They've appeared in some adventures. Anyway, the gate's open. Golarion, well, near Golarion awaits. My hand is outstretched. Let's head there and meet these interesting denizens. Alright, so, Denizens of Leng. Where to start when talking about them? Well, I'm going to start with a number of sources that you can use for information, stats, those kind of things, because those are always good to have. Especially because we have things like the bestiary that has had them in the past. They were the last time that we had them printed was Bestiary 2 from Pathfinder. So, again, that's something to keep in mind. But the other books that you can kind of take a look at, as shown over here, of course, beyond our good friend Bestiary 2, which is the first one there, we have Spires of Zin Shalast, which deals with them a little bit from Rise of the Rune Lords. Deals with them and Lang and stuff like that. Distant Worlds, some of the alien creatures from outside there, and the Lost Cities of Golarion, because some of the Lost Cities they have connections with and stuff like that. Anyway, because they are both merchants and also kind of horrible slavers from beyond the Veil. Yeah. Again, this is one of those facts that they probably are still fine in the remaster project. They were in 2nd edition, up in Bestiary 2, and one of the areas that's mentioned in TNC technically had them related to it, but there isn't a lot of details on them the same way in something like Shangguan, the Wall of Heaven, where we had Yaijie, the Shori place, had to deal with some influence of Lang other than the powerful Oni that was fighting. They don't talk as much about that anymore. I can't guarantee that it's not out of existence in their notes. But nonetheless, I'm just kind of saying that's where they were at. In there. They were connected to that too. So, they're kind of in a nebulous zone of probably still there, but I don't know for sure. Take it as great as such. Again, the remaster project changed a bunch of things. We all have to keep up. Alright. Now that we got all that out of the way, we can actually get started talking about them. Who are these beings? The Denizens of Leng. Well, they are residents of the Plateau of Leng. I will talk about Leng and information about it, but it is beyond the normal borders of the universe as we know it. They generally look to be human-ish, close to human, kind of human, but they aren't. I think that's one of the major things that we have to kind of say. They are not human. And that comes down to, when you look at them, you look human, 2 arms, 2 legs, about 5.5 feet tall. Then you look close. Their legs are cloven hoofs, bodies covered in horn-like protrusions. Their mouths, which comprise of tentacles and polyps that open in a way that human mouths do not. They are not human. They are something very alien. Now, origin? Kind of hard to say. Were they original people from the universe that ended up in Leng and changed? Or are they entirely natural to Leng, having come into being there? Also important to note, their bodies. They are not flesh and bone. They are some kind of substance that imitates flesh and blood. They don't bleed. If you cut them, the blood that comes out will simply flow straight back into the wound. Just cut them up. Right back in. And if you sever a body part, it dissolves into a pool of filth. Yeah. So they're primarily found on their home planet, Leng. But they also travel in the universe. They have a lot of intelligence, and a lot of, basically, insights into mysterious matters that are alien to mortals. So they tend to advise leaders, madmans. They've also been known to aid the weak and insignificant. But it's always a complex plot by them. And they tend to spread discourse as ambassadors, merchants. They carry Leng rubies, stones mined in quarries in their home planet, offer them as gifts to people. The thing about these Leng rubies is these gems create a mile-long link that allows them to read the minds of the carrier or assault them with powerful curses. Oh, look at this pretty jewel. Don't you want to, make a deal and take it from me? Don't worry. You'll love it. Also, important to note, they can speak any language it hears for at least 1 minute. They've been a bite, which warps the flesh of victims and allow them to shape it into new shapes. And they are always connected to the plane of Leng, and can drain on planar energy to heal themselves. If they are wounded on any mortal other plane, they're banished to Leng for a year. So, you can only kill them in Leng. Yeah, another big issue. Let's take a step back and briefly talk about what Leng is, just so you have an idea about it. So Leng is a demiplane of nightmares within the Dreamlands as a whole, the Plateau of Leng. It is part of the Great Beyond, the areas beyond the universe. The Dreamlands, the Dimension of Dreams, it's a dimension that overlays the ethereal plane, created and directly maintained by the dreams of sleepers of the universe. Finite, relatively stable core with countless spires of ephemeral dream states. So it is something of dreams. And Leng is a demiplane at the far edge of the Dreamlands. A nightmare realm, the terror beyond dreams. The Denizens of Leng are not the only beings there. Leng spiders, moonbeasts, Leng ghouls and ghasts, Leng hounds, gugs, night gaunts, scarlet walkers, shatanks, wendigos. This is the demiplane of Nyarlathotep, the gods of the Dreamlands. It is a very alien place that these beings come from, at the far edge of beyond the universe, at the far edge of dreams, where it becomes nightmares. That is Leng. That is where they come from. Now, when it comes to them and their connections with the universe of Golarion and beyond, well, they do travel from their home planet. They explore the universe. They basically have these monstrously powered black-sailed galleons with fiendish human crews. They pose as gem traders. And they try to capture slaves, acting oftentimes as pirates and slavers, plundering various areas. While other times they're the ambassadors and merchants I talked about. So you don't know which one you're going to sit. Are you going to get the black ships of the slaver and plunderer, the pirate? Or going to get one that's just going to make a deal with you? And again, dressing in the flowing robes, veils, turbans, that give them almost a human appearance. Almost a human. They've made trading luxuries with the Zorians of high Illivarden in the Darklands, in the realm of Ove, as a thriving business. Zorians, who are in the Monster Corps, are basically what used to be like collective hours. Cough, 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 cough. So keep that in mind. body snatchers, corpse riders. So they make deals with them and make a really great trade with them. Their common sight on Urisk River, and plying the waves of the sightless sea. In the universe, they've been on the planets in Golarion solar system. Octar. They've traveled there. So it's more beyond one area there too. And at the top of their group, at the top of them all, though, beyond their captains of the black ships, there are cultists and musicians that are the high priests of their gods in the nightmare realm, the cold nights. That is the denizens of Leng. They are not friendly. They are not nice. They are dangerous in all aspects of the world. They are alien creatures from a realm beyond. Whether they started as something from the universe or not does not matter at this point in time. Leng has beamed them into the monsters they in some ways are. They are aberrations at the core. Beings of dream. Beings of Leng. That's why you can't kill them. Why they collapse into oozing filth. While their blood doesn't work. They are not made like anyone else. They don't look at you as something to respect. You are something to be used. Taken as a captain, a slave, a servant for their realms. Perhaps to be tricked, used in some kind of plot they have. Some kind of goal they have. Maybe earn a little coin along the way. Something that they can trade with their trading partners. Other inhuman creatures within the universe. Sometimes they are the merchants. You never know what you're getting with them until it is too late. Because the change from slaving pirate captain to probably friendly-ish merchant is something that is very hard. Because the merchant still might be trying to do something horrible to you. Same with the ambassador. Same with anybody that's going to listen to them and be used by them for what they want. Their various plots. Maybe it's just discord and madness in the universe that they're plotting. It's very hard to tell. But the denizens of Leng are interesting. And I would love to know more about them. More than this. I'd like to see if they're going to be no longer legacy content and brought back in the remaster project, and if they are, maybe know more about Leng, about the dreamlands beyond, the places they come from. A lot of interesting questions about the universe as a whole, as things have changed in Pathfinder, and what still exists, what doesn't. And certainly speaking, even if we revisit them, I always want to know more. A lot of interesting stuff. But I hope you enjoyed learning all about them. And but I'll leave that there. I will say, thank you very much for joining me. If you want to see more things from me, always make sure to check me out on Twitch live or over later on the YouTube side. When I'm live, I do some video games with myself, friends, do a lot of tabletop related stuff. All the tabletop stuff related stuff is what goes up over the YouTube side. So if you can't join me live for tabletop related things, don't sweat it. Always go over your stuff over to YouTube. But if you're on YouTube, do remember to give the basic YouTube stuff, like I said at the beginning, like subscribing the bell. Let me know what you think of the Denizens of Leng. If you want to use them in an adventure now, don't you think how you encountered any? Those are big questions I'm kind of interested in, because I've never really used them. I've heard about them in various places. I've read about them in certain things. Things like the adventure I talked about. And we did not run through that part of Rise of the Runeworld. We got to that adventure. But that would have dealt with things related to Leng. Maybe even some of the denizens. We just never got there. The adventure. So it was like some of those things I kind of skirted about. Anyway, do check out my social media link below. That's my Discord, Blue Sky, Twitter/X. Just updates on life, schedule, all those kind of things. Sometimes a cat tip, sure. It's just ways to keep in contact with me. Anyway, I'm going to get going, maybe do some more videos and stuff with you, Twitch, hang out a little bit. Until the next time, we dive into Golarion, or the universe beyond it. Learn about some of these interesting creatures and beings and such like that, with places to visit. I bid all of you out. Until that time, a deep and wonderful farewell.